Many families keep umbrellas inside the house without realizing that this very item might be silently blocking their flow of money every single day. Hello, I am Master Quan. In Feng Shui, umbrellas are seen as objects that shield, block the flow of energy, and retain dampness. Because of this, when umbrellas are placed inside living spaces, especially if they stay in one fixed spot for a long time, they can easily disrupt the natural circulation of energy throughout the home. Your home needs fresh energy to be brought in, to circulate, and to spread evenly in order to nurture wealth and create long-term stability. When an object that tends to cover or trap energy is placed in a spot that should remain open to airflow, positive energy weakens. As a result, prosperity energy struggles to accumulate and becomes easily scattered over time. That is why, in today's video, we are going to explore 7 locations in your home where you should absolutely avoid placing an umbrella. This will help you prevent unintentionally creating blockages that interfere with the flow of energy and affect your family's financial stability. But before we begin, leave a comment down below with this positive affirmation. I open the way for prosperity energy to flow and remain in my home. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you will not miss out on powerful Feng Shui tips that show you how to arrange your living space to keep your wealth, attract more abundance, and live with greater peace every day. Now take a moment to think back and recall, after coming home on a rainy day, where do you usually place your umbrella? There is a good chance that your usual spot may actually be subtly blocking wealth and good fortune without you even realizing it. So today, let us explore the places in your home where umbrellas should absolutely not be placed. That way you can recognize and correct any placement mistakes in time, allowing the energy in your house to return to a smoother, lighter, and luckier flow. First location, directly facing the main door. The first and also the most sensitive place to avoid putting an umbrella is right in front of the main entrance. The front door is where your home begins to breathe. It is the gateway where all energy from outside enters and spreads throughout the house. This area needs to feel bright, neat, and open in order to form a strong foundation for everything that happens inside. Meanwhile, umbrellas are objects that block, close off, and hold in moisture, completely opposite to what the main entrance needs. When an umbrella is placed directly in front of the door, the flow of energy is blocked, and as soon as it enters, it cannot move deeper into the house or spread evenly. Even if the space appears clean, the lightness and freshness in the air begin to disappear. Instead, a subtle heaviness takes over, one that is hard to describe but slowly affects the feeling of stability and abundance inside the home. Most people do not notice this because placing an umbrella by the door often comes from a natural habit. You come home from the rain, drop your umbrella near the entrance for convenience, and leave it there day after day. But in Feng Shui, convenience does not always align with harmony. Umbrellas carry in rainwater, dampness, and heavy energy from the outside world. When these things gather right at the main entry point of your home, the space gradually loses its freshness. People in the house might not feel truly comfortable when walking in, even if they cannot quite explain why. Over time, that subtle discomfort affects your mood, your decisions, and even your ability to maintain financial stability and peace of mind. Luckily, adjusting this is very simple and entirely practical. Just move the umbrella away from directly facing the main door. Try placing it in a spot that suits its moist nature and intended function. If space is tight, shift it to the side and always make sure it is dry before storing. At the same time, keep the entrance bright, tidy, and open to support the natural flow of energy. When the main door is open in the truest sense, the living space feels lighter, peace of mind increases, and financial stability, along with other forms of abundance, can return naturally without force or pressure. Second location, the bedroom. The second place where you should never store an umbrella is the bedroom. The bedroom is where we rest, restore our energy, and rebalance ourselves after a long day. This space needs to feel calm, dry, and safe in order for the body and mind to truly relax. But an umbrella is a dynamic object. It blocks, protects, and holds moisture. These qualities clash completely with the quiet, peaceful nature that a bedroom requires. Even if an umbrella is simply leaned in a corner or hung behind the door, it still creates a heavy feeling. You might not notice it with your eyes, but your body senses it clearly. The impact does not come from something dramatic or sudden. Instead, it builds up over time. Umbrellas are associated with rain, movement, and the outside world. Bringing those images and energies into a space that's meant for stillness can make sleep feel lighter and prevent the mind from fully settling. You might not have full-blown insomnia, but you could feel more tired than usual or find it hard to stay alert during the day. And when your mental clarity is off, it affects every decision you make, especially those related to money and long-term planning. To fix this, the most important thing is to restore the bedroom to its true role. Remove umbrellas completely. Do not store them in closets, under the bed, or behind doors. Once the umbrella is out, take time to air out the room, open the windows, and make sure the space stays dry and breathable. Keeping the bedroom tidy and free of unrelated items helps the energy become lighter and more stable. When your sleep environment is aligned with rest and recovery, your sleep deepens, your mind strengthens, and you build the foundation for lasting peace and personal stability. Third location, the kitchen. The third place where umbrellas do not belong is the kitchen. This is the area where your family's daily nourishment takes place. The kitchen is connected to routine, preparation, care, and sustaining life. It needs to feel clean, orderly, and steady, so everything flows smoothly. Umbrellas, on the other hand, are items we use to deal with unpredictable weather. They often appear in moments of urgency, rain, dampness, or rush. When these two contrasting energies share the same space, imbalance begins to creep in. You may not see a big problem right away, but you might notice that daily life in the kitchen starts to feel a little less smooth. The space may seem a bit tighter, less comfortable, or always slightly disorganized. An umbrella, even just leaning in a corner or against a wall, brings in a sense of incompleteness or temporary use. And when that subtle feeling repeats day after day, it affects the mood of whoever is cooking or spending time in that space. Over time, that slight discomfort can reduce your sense of satisfaction and contentment in everyday life. To fix this, start by removing items that do not relate to cooking or kitchen tasks. Move the umbrella out of the kitchen completely so the room can return to its true function. Then, just keep the kitchen open, organized, and easy to use. That alone will make a big difference. When the kitchen no longer feels cluttered or temporary, the flow of family life becomes smoother and more harmonious. Fourth location, the bathroom. The fourth area where you should not keep umbrellas is the bathroom. This space is designed for processing and eliminating waste. Everything about a bathroom, its layout, function, and plumbing, is meant to flush things out quickly so that the rest of the home remains clean and comfortable. When you place an umbrella in the bathroom, even if it is just temporary or for convenience, it ends up in the wrong place. Umbrellas are meant to be dried, stored carefully, and reused. Bathrooms are not the right environment for that kind of item. The problem is not the umbrella itself, but the habit that forms around it. Once you leave an umbrella in the bathroom, it is easy to forget about it. It does not get opened, checked, or dry properly. Over time, it becomes just another forgotten object in a space that is already tight. This does not necessarily make the bathroom dirty, but it does create a slight sense of messiness. And when that feeling is repeated daily, it affects everyone's experience using the space. To fix this, set clear rules. The bathroom should not be used for storing umbrellas, not even briefly. After using one, dry it and store it elsewhere. Make sure the bathroom only serves its intended purpose, for hygiene and cleaning, not for holding extra items. When every room in the house is used as it was meant to be, your daily routine becomes more orderly and easygoing. Fifth location, under the staircase. The fifth place where you should not store an umbrella in the house is under the staircase. This area is typically a secondary space, not designed for frequent or intentional use. The space beneath the stairs exists as a leftover part of the home structure. one that people often try to make use of simply because they do not want to waste any space. Rather than because it is truly appropriate, this very nature makes it a common spot for placing items that do not have a fixed place. When an umbrella is placed here, it is no longer seen as a tool for daily use. Instead, it slowly becomes just another item that was put there. This shift in how the item is used happens gradually to the point that the people in the house do not even notice they have started storing the umbrella in a passive, almost neglectful way. Over time, putting umbrellas under the stairs leads to a repeated behavior pattern. The umbrella is used and then quickly tossed into the hidden space without being checked or dried. The next time it is used, it is pulled out in the same condition. Eventually, the space under the stairs becomes a stopping point for unfinished tasks. When a house has too many of these stopping points, daily life starts to feel disconnected. Things still happen, but they no longer feel smooth or cohesive. People living in that kind of space may start to procrastinate more, rely on habits instead of intention, and find it harder to keep the home organized over the long term. This is a very real effect, not abstract or imagined. To fix this, it is not just about cleaning out the area under the stairs, but about redefining how it is used. That space should not be used to store items that require regular handling and flexibility, like umbrellas. When you put an umbrella there, every time you need it, it brings a moment of inconvenience. And those small moments, repeated often enough, will disrupt the natural rhythm of family life. The clearest solution is to remove the umbrella from under the staircase so that every space in the home serves only its intended purpose. When there are no more temporary spots, daily activities become smoother, object use becomes more mindful, and the house naturally forms a clearer sense of order. It is this order, not any mystical factor, that becomes the foundation for a more stable, peaceful life in the long run. Sixth location, next to a mirror. A mirror is not a storage item, it is a reflective surface used for observing, adjusting, and preparing yourself before stepping out into the world. Every time we stand in front of a mirror, we unconsciously take in the reflected image as part of our current state. So anything that shows up in the mirror becomes part of your familiar picture in daily life. When an umbrella is placed next to a mirror, it is no longer just a tool for rain. It becomes a repeated visual detail that enters your field of vision day after day. This kind of repetition creates a very subtle influence. Umbrellas are associated with situations where you need to protect yourself from bad weather or sudden changes. When that image shows up in the mirror frequently, it can make the space feel temporary and not quite ready. No one consciously thinks this way, of course, but when you constantly see an object linked to going out and coming back, it quietly weakens the sense of stability in your routine. Mirrors are meant to help people feel more polished and confident, but when they reflect objects that do not belong to a state of balance, that effect gradually diminishes. Fixing this does not require a big change, just a shift in what you allow to appear in your everyday line of sight. The umbrella should be moved out of the mirror's view so that when you stand in front of it, your reflection contains only clear, neat, and lasting elements. When the space around your mirror becomes clean and consistent, your habits and routines become more intentional. This is not just about appearances. It is a real way to help your environment support a mindset of stability, readiness, and forward movement, instead of always being in response mode. Seventh location. Beside a window, windows are where light enters your home and where you observe the weather, the pace of life, and daily changes. A window does more than provide ventilation or natural light. It has a deep impact on how you experience your living space. When an umbrella is placed beside a window, it unintentionally becomes an obstruction in your view, breaking the natural connection between you and the outside world. Even if the umbrella is not large, placing it right next to a window makes the view feel fragmented and incomplete. What is important to note is that this disruption is not always obvious. People adapt quickly to objects that remain fixed in their line of sight, even if those objects lessen the quality of the space. An umbrella near a window gradually becomes something your eyes are used to seeing, but that familiarity actually reduces the value of the light in view. The inside of the room becomes dimmer, the outside view is broken up, and the open top on. Feeling that windows are meant to provide becomes limited. When natural light is blocked and the view is interrupted, the energy in the home starts to feel closed off, even if no one in the house realizes it. To fix this, focus on restoring the window's true function. The area around it should be kept clear, open, and neat, so that both light and your view can flow without obstacles. The umbrella should not be anywhere near the window, not even leaning casually against the wall. Once the window is freed from unnecessary blockages, the space inside will feel noticeably brighter, more open, and more pleasant. Now that you know the places where umbrellas should not be kept inside the home, you might start asking yourself, so where should the umbrella be placed in a way that is both convenient to use and supportive of a smoother, lighter flow of daily life? Let us continue exploring together. First location, the shoe area outside the house. The most suitable location to store an umbrella is the shoe area just outside the house, or right by the entrance, but still separate from the main living space. This is a transitional zone between the outside and the inside, where people shift from being out in public spaces to stepping into the rhythm of family life. Shoes, jackets, hats, and umbrellas all belong to the same category. Items used when going outside, dealing with weather, streets, and public environments. When these items are kept in the proper transitional area, the rest of the living space remains clean, clear, and functionally defined. The umbrella is no longer seen as something temporarily left somewhere, but instead becomes part of a thoughtful routine. Use it, place it where it belongs, and have it ready for next time. This clarity creates an immediate sense of order and calm the moment you step into the house. The key function of the shoe area is that it allows things to be handled completely before entering the rest of the home. After returning from the rain, you can stand the umbrella up, let it dry, and place it neatly with your shoes without affecting other areas. This simple habit helps daily routines stay smooth, avoiding disruptions caused by small tasks. No overthinking, no need to clean up inside later. Everything is already taken care of at the doorway. When seemingly small things are dealt with fully like this, life naturally flows more easily. People are less distracted, less scattered, and more in control of their daily rhythm. Over time, placing the umbrella in this area helps build a clear and stable lifestyle, where every object has its proper place. The house no longer feels invaded by temporary items, and the inside space remains clean and pleasant. When you step inside, the first feeling is one of lightness, order, and calm, without needing to move or rearrange anything. That feeling helps you relax faster, think more clearly, and maintain everyday stability. No major changes are needed, just placing your umbrella in the right spot from the very start sets the tone for a smoother daily flow, allowing ease and good fortune to naturally form and grow within your home. Second location, the balcony. The balcony is the only area in the home designed for direct exposure to sunlight, wind, and weather changes, while still remaining under your control. It is not a main living area, nor is it meant for long-term storage. Instead, it acts as a buffer zone where things can adapt before moving deeper into the home. Because of this unique role, the balcony is the perfect place for items associated with the outdoors to pause in a natural way. When you place your umbrella here, it does not need to blend into the living space, nor does it feel out of place. It simply rests where it belongs, between inside and outside, between use and rest. If you look closely, you will see that the balcony is where everything returns to its natural state. Wet clothes drain, sun-loving plants thrive in the space time. Items that have just been out in the world reset before being brought inside. The umbrella is no different. On the balcony, it does not have to be pretty or neatly stored or hidden away. It can be opened up, stood upright, allowed to dry, and be ready for the next use. This happens slowly, without urgency, and without disrupting the household. That slower rhythm helps the home avoid being thrown off by sudden weather or external events. More importantly, placing the umbrella on the balcony helps maintain a clear boundary between inside and outside. The street, the rain, the hustle, they all stop at this point. This gives the interior a sense of stability and peace. The balcony does not need to be large or fancy. It just needs to do its job as a transition space, where things are processed before becoming part of the household again. When the umbrella is placed here, it is not only more convenient, it also supports a smooth, uninterrupted rhythm inside the home, allowing comfort and ease to take root and last. Third location, the laundry area. In any home, the laundry area is usually one of the most overlooked spaces, but it plays a crucial role in preparing everything for reuse. People do not come to this area to rest or relax, but to finish unfinished tasks. Clothes after being worn, towels after being used, items that need to be cleaned and dried. Because of this, the space carries its own rhythm, practical, no frills, and focused on transition. When an umbrella is placed here, it naturally fits in with that rhythm. It does not feel out of place or like excess clutter. It does not need to be hidden, and it does not need to appear in the main living areas. It simply sits in a space designed for items that need to be taken care of after use. Moreover, the laundry area is not a place where unfinished things linger. Everything here is expected to go through a process before returning to daily life. When the umbrella is stored here, it is no longer dragged from room to room or awkwardly leaned in highly visible corners. Instead, it is opened, left to dry in peace, and only put away when fully ready. This process takes its time, without rush, and does not interfere with the rest of the home's activities. That separation helps the rest of the house maintain its usual sense of lightness and ease. Over time, this habit creates a clear routine without needing to be reminded. Every time you come home from the rain, your body naturally guides the umbrella to the right spot. Your hand opens it and leaves it there, without needing to think. Because of that, the house avoids constant rearranging, extra cleaning, or readjusting furniture over tiny repeated actions. When everything follows a familiar, intentional rhythm, life at home becomes smoother and less chaotic.